All right, we are live on YouTube, and tonight we're going to be discussing the right place at the right time, how this impacts your success at anything. So stick around and find out more. All that and much, much more is coming right. Whoa! From Northern California, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And after you bang that bell, when that pop-up box pops up, make sure you select all notifications, because that way you won't miss a single thing. You will not miss anything when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. And also make sure on your smartphone, your tablet, your iPhone, your Android, or anywhere that you have the YouTube app installed on, you must also make sure that the YouTube app is set to receive those notifications at a device level. You do all of that, and you're set to go. You're golden. You're ready to rock and roll. Hello, Mutt Nuts World. How are you doing? I was wondering if you're going to show up tonight. I'm sorry I missed your stream earlier today. I'm going to catch the replay. I was actually working on a members only video. I'm sure you got the posting, the members only community posting. I'm not sure if you got a chance to view it yet, but I put out another members-only video today, members-only video number 18. So for you or for anyone else that would like to check out those videos, you can become a member of this channel for a minimum of $4.99 per month. I do have 5 membership packages ranging from $4.99 up to $9.99. All 5 of those packages get you the exact same thing. You just choose how much money you want to spend each month to sponsor the channel, and you will get those members-only videos. I am one that puts out a lot of members-only content. Now, I know lately I've only been putting a couple out each week. That's because, I've been still recovering from a pinched nerve, but things are almost healed, and I'll be back on track to doing 4 to 5 of those each and every week, and giving you even more members-only content. I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm all that, but from what I've seen out there, I put out more members-only content than most other creators that have memberships enabled on their channel. Oh, look who else is here. Look who else is here. Queen Helen Casey's in the house. Hey, Queen. Hey, Queen. Queen and Mutt, can you guess what this is a picture of back here? What is this a picture of? I want to see if you ladies can figure it out. This is another royalty-free background from Pixar.com. And you can use these for commercial usage. You can use them in any way you want with no repercussion. It's a beautiful, beautiful image. What do you think that image is in the back? It is a bridge in a certain city that you see in the background. Let me see if you can actually figure it out. In the meantime, let's check out the chat. Mutt Nuts World says, hey, Eli and everyone. Hey, Mutt, welcome to the show. Mutt says, I am good. Just been working on some stuff and just watched it. It was very good topic. Well, I'm glad you got value out of it, Mutt. Thank you so much. Oh, speaking of which, let me check out to make sure that let me check these out to make sure that the notification went out. The notification has gone out, and the stream health is excellent, looking very good. Queen Helen K says, hello, Eli. Smash the like button for Eli. Mutt Nuts World says, hey, Queen. Queen says, hello, Mutt. And Queen Helen K says, is it in California? No. I'll give you a hint. It's on the complete opposite coast of California. So California is the furthest state to the west. This state is the furthest state to the east. Looks like New York skyline. That's right, Mutt. And what is the bridge? It's a very famous bridge in New York. Mutt, wow, Mutt, you've been impressing me a lot lately. So have you, Queen. But Mutt just comes out of nowhere. Like, she just comes out of nowhere with these things. So what bridge is that in New York? One guess. A very famous bridge. And then we'll get right to it because this topic is not going to take too terribly long to discuss. This show may only be 30 to 45 minutes max because I just want to share with you folks some examples, of the importance of timing. If you had a chance to see my thumbnail, I'm sure you had to see my thumbnail to click on this video. My thumbnail says timing is everything. And there's a picture of some guy holding the clock. It's a pretty cool thumbnail. Did you like the thumbnail, Queen and Mutt? Is it the Brooklyn Bridge? That's right. That's right, Mutt. It's the Brooklyn Bridge. With that being said, we're going to give you a big round of applause. That's right. The Brooklyn Bridge, Mutt. Mutt and Queen, do you like those sounds to show how excited I get when my audience engages with me and correctly answers the questions? Gotta love that, right? Gotta love it. Queen Helen Casey said, I just uploaded a video so I wouldn't know. No worries, Queen. No worries, Queen. Was that on your Queen Helen Casey channel or your Queen Helen Casey live? Let me know. I mean, I'll get the notification, but I'm not actually on my phone right now. I'm live on the air, so I can't see it. But feel free to share that link in the chat, Queen, and your channels as well. Same with you, Mutt. Anytime, feel free to do that. I have family up in New York. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So you've driven over the Brooklyn Bridge before? Is it as spectacular as it appears in the picture? Let us know, Mutt. Let us know. Yeah, I kind of wanted to change things up with the backgrounds a little bit. I wanted to portray some other cities in the U.S. and I'm also going to start using some backgrounds from other countries with beautiful skyline and scenery. I really love those pictures. They really blend in the background for my streams. The channel that I am on now, okay, so your regular Queen Helen Casey channel. Excellent, excellent. Mutt Nuts World says I have some new videos coming out soon. All right, great. Ladies, feel free to share your links if you'd like. Mutt, you can share Queen's link if she doesn't feel like doing it. She's very humble. I know you are too, but because the go-to channel feature has been removed from YouTube chat and the Chrome extension, for the go-to channel, plugin extension works sometimes, other times doesn't work. Make sure you get your channels in there with your moderate so people can check you out if they like. All right, we have 16 people in the box. Thank you so much for being here. So, yeah, did you ladies get a chance to see the thumbnail? The thumbnail says, how's your timing? And it has a nice picture of this silhouette clock with a guy holding the hands of the clock, basically depicting, trying to get my timing right, I thought it was a great picture that I found on Pixa.com. I believe the site is called Pixa. Did I get it right? Pixabay, sorry, Pixabay.com. Pixabay.com. It was just another great image I found out there, so I decided to use it for my thumbnail. But the title of tonight's stream is The Right Place at the Right Time, How This Impacts Your Success at Anything. The right place at the right time, how this impacts your success at anything. Now, let me ask you ladies in the chat or anyone else that's out there, okay? Have you ladies heard the phrase, timing is everything? How many of you out there have heard the phrase time and time again, timing is everything, or the timing just isn't right, right? How many times have you heard that? Because many people seem to feel that if they're trying to accomplish something in life, within their personal life or their business life or their workplace or their career, and they don't accomplish it right away, it takes longer to accomplish, they feel like they're failing. They feel like they're never going to accomplish what they really want to accomplish that's going to make them feel satisfied, right? Okay? But that's the furthest thing from the truth. The truth of the matter is the timing just hasn't been right for you yet. And it doesn't mean that the timing is not going to be right for you tomorrow, next week, maybe next month, maybe next year, maybe in 5 years. It may take a while for the timing to be right. But if you really want to accomplish something within your life, regarding your business or your personal life, okay, you're not going to give up. You're going to keep moving forward. You're going to keep on trying. And when the time is right, when it was meant to be, I'm sure you've heard that as well, when it was meant to be, it'll just happen. And it'll happen naturally in the way it was meant to be. A lot of people feel that, things need to be forced. You need to, force things to make them happen. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. Now, while forcing things might get you a temporary, quicker result, again, it's a temporary result, right? You want to be able to accomplish things that are going to be sustainable long term regarding your business relationships, any businesses you run, any, employers you work for, any relationships you have. I don't think I mentioned relationships, but you want to make sure the timing is right, and you want to make sure you're in a good place. Because if you're not in a good place and you force a relationship, or you tell someone you're ready and you get into a relationship and you're not really ready, eventually that person on the other side is going to start seeing some things in you and is going to realize that you're not ready. And then they're just going to walk away. And then it's going to make you feel worse than you felt before, finding someone that wanted to be with you in a relationship, right? So in essence, basically, you're giving yourself a false sense of accomplishment, if you don't wait for the timing to be right, and if you're not in a good place to have a relationship, to run your own business, to get promoted in the corporate world, etc. It all involves the timing. So let me check out the chat here real quick. Muttnuts World says, I have new videos coming soon to my second channel. Mutt Squad reviews. Here is the link. Oh, let me check it out. Let's check it out, Mutt. I'm about to be your third subscriber right now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to subscribe to you from both my channels. If you just give me a second. Well, my YouTube Premium account, my Coach Eli, Elias Melas account, and my A Grip on Life account. Let me just get this done briefly here so I don't forget later. Subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications. Fantastic. Okay. Just 1 second here. All right. We're good to go. We're good to go. All right. This is my main channel link. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Queen Helen Casey says, I have heard of it. I just never take the time for myself half the time because I am always busy. Well, why is that, Queen? Queen, I got to say that you're an amazing woman. You're an amazing person. And you and Mutt have been two of the most consistent people out here that I met on YouTube. And you've become two of my closest friends out here on YouTube. And Queen, what I notice about you is that you don't expect anything from anyone. I'm the same way. And I can understand that and appreciate that. But at the same time, Queen, I think, and this is just me, I think you deserve a lot more than you give yourself credit for, than you feel you're worthy of or feel you can accomplish. I think you're such a good person and you're so intelligent and you've got your act together that you could accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. And you should take more time for yourself and focus on yourself and become the best version of you that you can be. I'm not saying that you're not anywhere near there. You are. You've done a great job. But I think you're just like many other people out there, and this is where I come in and I can help you because I've been through this stuff before myself as well. I think you've been through so much negativity and disappointment in the past that instead of putting yourself back out there to get what you really want, you withdraw because you don't want to deal with the pain that comes along with taking chances and failing, right? But if you take chances and it just wasn't meant to be, if you look at it that way as it wasn't meant to be instead of failure, then you're going to be like, okay, the timing is just not right, or this person is just not right for me, or this particular business I'm trying to run isn't right for me. Let me tweak it up and let me try something different because I really want to be an entrepreneur. I really want to find a good person in my life, whatever it is. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense, Queen, because I'll tell you, I've met a lot of people, and there are a lot of people like you in this world, very good people, but they are their own worst enemy. How they see themselves is what's hindering them the most to really have what they want. Do you know what I mean? It's all about timing. It's all about timing. It's all about if it's meant to be, it will be. Like the song, if it's meant to be, it'll be, it'll be. Baby, just let it be. Right? Great song, right? I'm sure you ladies have heard that song. When I first heard that song a few years ago, I really loved the rhythm, the beat, the lyrics, and all of that. And it makes a lot of sense. If it's meant to be, it'll be. And if you want something, like I said earlier, and you try to force it, right, whether it's a relationship or a business aspect of your life, if you try to force something because you want it that bad, even if it works out, it's only going to be temporary. It's going to hurt you more in the long run. Put yourself out into the universe in the ways that you want the universe to see you and in the ways regarding what you want, and you're going to naturally attract the right people and situations in your life. And eventually, when the timing is right, things will just fall into place. Now, I have a few stories here I want to share, regarding my past. One example I'm going to give is, regarding relationships and how the timing has to be right. Okay. And the other one is going to be when I was in the corporate world. And I really I was in retail, and then I got into retail corporate. That's why I call it the corporate world. But it is retail, their corporation, same thing, right? So when I was, working in retail in my younger days, I have a story regarding how I really wanted to get promoted in my younger days. And I kept on getting passed up. And then, I made a change that actually ended up getting me further ahead. And I'll share more about that. I don't want to give the whole story away yet, but I had to make a change within myself, and I had to realize certain things, okay, regarding why I wasn't getting that promotion. It was regarding the timing. The timing just wasn't right. The timing wasn't right. And folks, when the timing isn't right, in order to flip that around, not only does the timing have to be right for you, it has to be right for the other person or people that you're dealing with regarding whatever you want to work out with that person, whether it's working for a company, working for a company, getting promoted or through a company, which is what I'm trying to say, or making it work in a relationship with a woman. The timing has to be right for you and for the other person, right? So a lot of the frustrating aspects of life are not only because, what's frustrating is the fact that while we may be ready, this is what I'm trying to say, while we may be ready and the timing may be right for us, for another person that we're seeking to connect with or be with or work for or get promoted through, the timing's not right for them. Again, the timing has to be right for both sides. It's a two-way street. And that's part of the frustrating thing, because a lot of times, when you put yourself out there, like in this modern dating world, Just because I know I'm ready and the timing is right for me, and there are women out there stating on online dating sites they're ready for a relationship, just because they say they're ready, deep within doesn't mean the timing is right for them. They may not even realize the timing is not right for them until you talk with them. And that's why I tell both men and women that if you're going to use online dating, or you meet someone, regarding any way you meet people nowadays in this crazy modern dating world, okay, you ask a lot of questions to see where that person's at. Is the timing right for them? Are they in a good place? Are they ready? Or are they just putting a profile out there seeking validation because they're really not ready, but they still want to feel like they're wanted, right? So you gotta learn how to, handle those situations and look for those things, so that way you don't waste too much time on the wrong person. If you waste too much time, it's going to frustrate you and you're going to feel like you want to give up. Okay. If you, figure out that someone's not right for you, the timing's not right, you can withdraw and focus on someone else that may be the right fit. But if you can't figure that out and you keep on focusing on someone that is clearly not ready and the timing's not right for them, you may have missed an opportunity with someone that is ready and the timing's right for them. Understand what I'm saying? All right. So Muttnuts World, Queen Helen Case says, it does. I just stay busy most of the time and taking care of my fur babies. Okay, Queen. So let me get this straight. Because you put yourself out there and you've tried to accomplish certain things that you really want, that I still believe you still want, but it just hasn't happened, you've given up on that aspect of life, or those aspects of life, because you're just tired of trying, and it's just a safe way to protect your heart, right? I can understand that. I can understand it to a certain extent. And instead, you rely on your fur babies, maybe your cats, your dogs, whatever animals you have, to fill in that void of what you really want. Nothing wrong with animals, pets, dogs, cats, whatever pets you have. Nothing wrong with that. But in my opinion, nothing replaces having a special person in your life to share your life. Okay? Nothing replaces going out there and making something out of yourself and not letting other people get you down just because they don't want to be with you or associate with you, right? Let's see. Nuts World says, I love that song. Yeah, it's a great song. I forgot who the artist is. I can look it up. Yeah, give me just 1 second. Yeah, Bebe Rexha. Bebe Rexha, Meant to Be, featuring Florida Georgia Line. It's kind of like, I think it was meant to be a country song, but most country songs, if not all, they're on the pop charts nowadays. Country's become more pop, but this song kind of had more of a country feel to me, and I used to love that old school country back in the 80s and 90s. Most country nowadays sounds more like mainstream, pop music. Again, the country singers went that route because there's more money and there's more exposure being on the main Billboard pop charts than the country charts, right? It's funny how even people, on the country scene, or in the country scene, the country, music artists, when they go to the mainstream, pop charts, when they go that route and they change up their music to sound kind of half country and half popular music, are they being true to the country roots? See, I look at that. So see, some people even change, their true roots because it gets them further ahead. But how long is that going to last? How many of these country singers have come out and done what I just said and put out one album and had maybe one or two hits, and then you never hear from them again, right? It's because they're not being authentic to their roots. They're doing what they feel is going to get them more exposure and more money. Okay? It's just my opinion. Queen Ellen Casey, I have cats. That's great. Mutt Nuts World, it's Florida Georgia Line and Bebe Rexha. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Mutt. Yeah, I looked it up. I remember now. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me talk about what happened to me in my younger days when I was looking to get promoted through the retail world I was working in. My first job was working for a movie theater. I worked at the Hillsdale Cinema in San Mateo, California, which is no longer there. The building's still there, but the theater hasn't been around for, 15 years at least, maybe longer. And I worked there from, I think, 89 to 93 or something like that. Something like that, early 94. And I ended up getting promoted to an assistant manager position. They called the chief of staff there. Once I turned 18, I started working there when I was 15 and a half. And I really loved the job, but it didn't pay that well. I was making $5.75 an hour. When I first started working there in 89, the minimum wage just went from $3.35 to $4.25. And then, a few years later, I went from $4.25. I got a few raises as a regular employee. I got promoted to assistant manager, making $5.75 an hour. And after 4.5 years, basically, that wasn't going to cut it. I was 20 years old, and before that, I was trying to get a job at Price Club in Redwood City, which is now a Costco, because back in those days, Costco and Price Club were two different companies, and then they merged together to create Price Costco, and then they changed it to Costco Wholesale. But I was trying to get into the Redwood City Price Club, but because I was a union warehouse, it was very difficult to get hired there. They never called me back for an interview or anything. Well, a new Costco opened up in my area, a few cities away in Foster City, called the Foster City Costco. And because I had 4.5 years of experience working for the movie theater, I got promoted to management. I felt that I had a great resume to get that job and work my way up and get promoted, right? Well, I started working for Costco, and the first promotion is going from being an assistant to the cashier, meaning a boxer, a person that puts items in boxes, because Costco doesn't have bags. And the first promotion is going from boxer assistant to the cashier to being a cashier, and the cashier is on a higher pay scale. And when I first started working there, it was a brand new store. They basically put us through a 90-day probation period, and after the 90 days, they were going to promote 20 out of the 40 people that were working in that department, the front-end department, from assistant to cashier. So all of us were cashiering, we're taking turns, on the register, and they were assessing us to see who was going to, be the best fit for the cashier promotion. Whenever I was on the cash register, I was friendly with the customers. I was fast. My tills always balanced the penny. I was never short, not over or short. Never had any issues with checks. Nothing. Everything was perfect. And when it came time to get the promotion, I got passed up. I got passed up by other people that weren't as qualified as me. Okay? That happens quite a lot in the corporate world because, when the management and the supervisors hire certain people that are their friends, they're going to help them, get promoted help people that don't deserve getting promoted over people like me that do deserve getting promoted, right? So I wasn't too happy about that. And for the next year, as a cashier position became available, I kept applying for the cashier position. I kept getting passed up. Did nothing wrong. I would cashier every now and then as a backup when a cashier would call in sick, but for the most part, I was an assistant. And what ended up happening was, finally, about a year and a half after being there, I ended up getting promoted. A year and a half or 2 years of being there, I ended up getting promoted to cashier. Now, from that point, I wanted to get promoted to a supervisor because I wanted to work my way up: supervisor, department manager, then possibly assistant store manager, then store manager, district manager. I really loved Costco. Costco is a great company. I really love Costco. They have great benefits. They paid very well. It's one of the best jobs you can have in your early 20s, early to mid 20s. It's actually a great job that many people retire from. So, I really loved that job. I kept applying for supervisor positions, and I kept getting passed up. Same old song and dance. They just wouldn't promote me. And they would just say, we decided to go with another applicant. We decided to go with another applicant. At that point, a position became available in the administrative office, and I transferred in the administrative office because I was so frustrated about what was happening in my department. They called the cashier checkout area, they called it the front end, okay? I was so frustrated, I didn't want to be around there. I just wanted to go work in the office, right? And because when I got promoted to cashier, I went from the service assistant to service clerk pay scales, and the higher pay scale, I had to transfer into a position that was a part of the service clerk pay scale. So I didn't, I wasn't demoted down to the lower pay scale and not make as much money, right? And I ended up being a vault clerk, meaning that a vault clerk, receives the checks and the cash from, the cashiers. If you've ever been to a Costco, if you've ever noticed employees having to, take out the checks from their till and take out a certain amount of money and then put it in an envelope and put in this bullet. It's this, this plastic bullet. And then they shoot it up through this vacuum system that sends the tube to the vault. So the cashiers would send the tube to the vault, and I would, sort the checks. I would also encode the checks with a check encoder, and I would take the money and I would prepare the deposits or the deposit to the bank for the very next day. And I did that hoping that I was going to be able to reapply for a supervisor position and get promoted to supervisor at some point, going the route of working in the administrative office. It never happened. Kept getting passed up. I ended up realizing that, I wasn't at the right place at the right time. It had nothing to do with who I am as a person. It had nothing to do with me being a whiner or a complainer. Yeah, maybe I complained a little bit every now and then, but who didn't complain? Even the people that got promoted would complain every now and then. It wasn't a big deal. They got promoted. But why did they get promoted and I didn't get promoted? Because all the supervisors and managers, hired all their friends, and they wanted to promote all their friends, regardless if someone else was more qualified for the position. So how did I rectify that situation? I realized I was not at the right place at the right time, and it was never going to be the right time. But I still wanted to, work in retail. I still wanted to, get into retail management and get that experience. So what did I do? Well, another manager that was, working for Costco, that was trying to get promoted from department manager to a higher level manager, kept getting passed up. She got frustrated and she ended up leaving and going to work for Office Depot as an assistant store manager. And she basically said, why don't you come and work for, Office Depot with me? I'll help you get a job there. You'll probably start off as a customer service manager, making the same money you're making here, but you can work your way up pretty quickly as an assistant manager, store manager, etc. That's what I did. I ended up leaving Costco, a job I really liked back then, after 5.5 years. I went to Office Depot, they immediately hired me as a customer service manager, making the same amount of money as making at Costco. And then literally within a year or less after that time, I got promoted to assistant store manager. And that's where my career took off. Once I got there, other companies would recruit me. And, back then, retail was booming so much that, companies, when companies would see a great retail store manager, if they would come in to visit your store, they would recruit you every time. They would offer you more money, more perks, signing bonuses, etc. Right? So it just wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be for me at Costco. The timing wasn't right. The right people were not there. Do I feel there was a lot of political BS involved? Yeah, but what can I do about that? What do you do? Complain? Yeah, everyone complained a little bit. I mean, it's a normal thing. I wasn't a big whiner or anything, but what was complaining going to do? Nothing. So I had to sit there and realize that this is just not going to work here, no matter what I do. So I'm going to make a change to better myself. So I took that chance, and it paid off, and it completely turned my career around. But what do many people do in that situation? They get angry, they complain, they whine and complain, and if they don't quit on their own out of frustration, they get fired, right? And then it's hard for them to get a job because they got fired. Then they sit at home depressed, and they got other issues, right? Just because you don't get what you feel you deserve initially doesn't mean you don't deserve it, doesn't mean you're not capable of getting it. All it means is that the timing was just not right. And you were not at the right place at the right time. And in many cases, it's not because you're not qualified or you're not, not qualified, not the right fit, etc. It's because the other side just doesn't feel you're the right fit for their agenda, whatever it is. And in many cases in the corporate world, they always like to say, oh, we treat everyone fair and equal, but let's be real here. Let's be real here. There's a lot of political BS involved. And there's nothing you can really do about it. And if you are not at a friendly, I'm not saying I wasn't friendly with them, I was, but if they don't consider you like a top-notch friend, at least certain managers, they will not promote you no matter how good you are, no matter how nice you are, right? See, for me, when I got into management, I was never discriminatory in that way to anyone. I would always promote people that deserved the job. There was one time, I've shared this story before, I promoted somebody that initially I didn't like, that I thought was a slacker and a goofball. But it got to the point of where we were so desperate to hire or to promote a manager, because it was hard to hire people back then. The industry, the retail world was booming. I'm like, okay, this guy does good work. He's a little, he's a little bit of a goofball, but I think I can help him turn that around, and he could be a great, supervisor, and then eventually a manager. Well, when I went to upper management, suggesting this guy get promoted, they thought I was crazy. They're like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to put your name for this guy? You haven't really liked this guy." Well, just because I may not have liked somebody back then doesn't mean they didn't grow on me. It doesn't mean that they're not a good employee. Just because they're a goofball doesn't mean they don't do good work. This guy actually did good work. I just thought he was a goofball and slacked off a lot, but he still got his work done. Now, other managers in that same situation, once they don't like somebody, that person's eliminated, and they'll never give that person a chance. But that's not how I work. The way I work is I will promote someone and suggest someone for whatever that I feel deserves it, whether I like him or not. An example, if I thought my trolls and haters had something of value to offer, I would endorse it. Now, I don't feel they have any value to offer at this time, which I don't endorse them, but that's an example. I'm saying it doesn't matter who the person is or how they've been in the past. If there's something of value someone has to offer, I will promote it. I will expose it. I will endorse it. That's just the way I work. It's just the way I work. So that was my story, regarding the business aspect of things and needing to be at the right place at the right time to accomplish what you want within your business world. Queen Helen Casey says, smash the like button for Eli. All right, we are at 40 minutes. We're going to be wrapping this up in a few here. I'm going to share a story that I haven't shared before regarding one of my relationships. I'm not going to describe this woman in any way. I'm just going to say a prior relationship I have not talked about. And this was in my younger days, late 20s, early 30s. I met an amazing woman. I met her through Craigslist of all places back then. Craigslist, I think they still have dating ads and stuff like that, but Craigslist used to be a place where you could put, free dating profiles. And part of the problem with Craigslist was that there was a lot of spam going on there and a lot of women, looking to do what's called pay to play and, to do mutually beneficial hookups, things like, I think you know what I'm talking about. Women that are looking for a sugar daddy, right? Well, I figured out a system on there. I used to use a program. I think it's still around, but not many people use it. I used to use Yahoo Messenger. This is before Google Hangouts and, all these other IM programs through Facebook and all that. Like Yahoo Messenger was a great program. Yahoo was a great company back then until Google came in and boom, changed the world. And I mean, Yahoo's still around, but Google's pretty much almost put them out of business, in my opinion, even though they're still around. So what I would do is I would put my Yahoo Messenger ID and say, hey, my name is Eli. Here are my pictures. I'm looking to meet someone for a potential relationship, hang out, and enjoy doing fun things. Please do not email me. There's too much spam on Craigslist. Instead, message me on Yahoo Messenger at my Yahoo Messenger email, and I would put the email username, within my Craigslist ad. And I would say also, if you do not have Yahoo Messenger, it's a quick and free download and sign up, right? So I met this amazing woman through there. She was awesome and amazing. And but I remember during the time when I met her, I was going through some things. I'm not going to get into that right now. Maybe another time. I mean, I don't have a problem sharing anything I've been through, but it'll just take too long. The bottom line is I was going through some things, and while I really wanted the relationship and I wanted the company and comfort of a woman, I really wasn't ready for a relationship. And that's another thing, folks. You got to be, at the right place at the right time. And, the timing, has to be right for both sides, including you. The timing wasn't right for me. And I pushed it because I wanted to, take my mind off of what was happening by meeting a woman and hanging around with her so I can, put all the negative things that were happening to me at that time out of my mind. Now, when you meet someone, you can, if you're a smart man like me, if you're going through something, you can hide what you're going through for a little while, right? But eventually, it's all going to come out, and the woman is going to find out. And in this case, to make a long story short, after being with this woman, for a while, it was a while, she ended up saying that, it's just not going to work out. I said, why? Just the timing is off for you. It's just, you're not ready for this. it's not the right time or place for you. You're a good guy, but you've got some things to sort out. And, it hurt a little bit. I'm not going to lie. It hurt a little bit, but it didn't hurt as much as some other relationships I've been through hurt, because I knew all along deep within that she was right. And I knew eventually at some point, until I got my act together like I have today, it was eventually going to fail. She was a good woman. She was a beautiful woman. Came from a great family, very feminine, but professional at the same time. Was able to balance her work-personal life. She even had 2 kids from a previous marriage. She got married very young, had a couple kids. Her kids spent time with their father and their parents, some of the times, which allowed us to go on dates and hang out. She was a great person, but I was not at the right place within myself. Wasn't the right place at the right time. Okay. And, just because she was ready, and she was ready for a relationship, doesn't mean that I wasn't, even though I may have thought I was, or I just wanted to be with somebody to get my mind off of things. I'm not saying I didn't care about this woman, didn't want a relationship, but I just knew I had some other things I needed to work through. And I just knew being with a woman at that point in my life was going to help distract me from the other things. The thing you don't realize in those situations is that women will pick up on that down the road, like I was saying during the story, and eventually it's going to end. So why put yourself in that position in the first place? Take care of yourself first, and then the timing will be right for you. So that is that. All right. So amazingly, we have 21 people here. That's interesting. I know there are a bunch of other streams going on tonight. I'll make one quick comment, because I know some of the people that I don't want to be a part of my audience are here. And I know there are some things going on in the drama sphere. I was made aware of it. I don't focus a lot of time on that, really, to be honest with you. But I'm just wondering, I know there are streams going on and people are talking about crazy things, and something crazy really happened. And it makes me more proud of myself to have withdrawn and not be a part of that. I'm like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid what these people are doing. They're wasting their time with all this stupid drama rather than creating real content and making something out of themselves, right? They make the drama their content, which we all know it has a limited shelf life. It's not going to get anywhere. So I'm surprised, that some of those people are probably here right now, because we've got a couple people chatting, and we still have 18 people here right now. So, but anyway, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. It is Friday, July 10th, 2020. Wow, 10 days away from my name day. Wow. Give me 1 second here. And the weekend is here, folks. So I'm going to get on out of here. Tomorrow, I am feeling a little bit better. I may go out and try to do a walk or a short hike. I'm able to walk a bit better. I'm not fully healed, but I know as part of the healing process, getting around and walking is good, for a pinched nerve, and to get your muscles, back on track. So I may or may not do a stream or a video tomorrow. I may end up, taking a walk or a short hike with my activity partner. So if you don't hear from me tomorrow, my apologies. Don't think anything's wrong. But I'll definitely be back by Sunday, regardless. And that's when you'll definitely get another piece of content from me. But again, don't be surprised if I'm around tomorrow. If I'm not, don't be surprised as well. All right. With that being said, have yourselves a great night. I want to thank you. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you, Queen Helen Case, for being here. Thank you, Mutton Nuts World, for being here. And thank you to everyone else for being here tonight. With that being said, have yourselves a great night, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. We're out. We're out. We're out. Peace out. Peace. Peace everywhere. Global peace. World peace.